Hey guys, it's Jack with the Teenage Techie, and you're watching my review of the LG G2. The G2 is the successor to LG's previous flagship, the Optimus G. Even though the Optimus G might not have been as successful as, say, the Galaxy S3, that's not stopping LG from trying to blow the Galaxy S4 out of the water. Design-wise, I would describe the G2 as being somewhere between the Galaxy S4 and the HTC One. While it's still plastic, like the S4, something about the G2 feels more premium than the S4. It doesn't feel like it could slip out of your hand as easily as the S4 did. The most interesting thing about the design of the G2 is its button placement. All the buttons are on the back. Previously, I had always preferred the power button to be on the side, but I have a new favorite. The power button is placed precisely where I normally rest my index finger while using a phone, and having it on the back means I don't have to stretch my finger up or over to turn on or off my phone. When you turn the phone on, the first thing you notice is the display. It's glorious. It's a 5.2-inch 1080p IPS LCD screen. Quality-wise, it's better than both the HTC One and the Galaxy S4, and you get the benefit of having a larger screen size without having a larger phone, because the G2 is not physically bigger than either phone. You know what looks really good on such a great screen? The pictures you can take with the G2. It has a 13 megapixel shooter, and, like the Galaxy S4's camera, it's simply fantastic. Low light photos may not be as good as the ones you can take on the HTC One, but they're at least as good as the S4's. Where the G2 really shines is normal light photos. They're very sharp and color rendition is great. The G2 has a great camera suite to go along with the camera hardware. It shares many features with the Galaxy S4, including some of the shooting modes, and you can adjust just about anything in the settings. Video quality is very good as well, and you can even shoot 1080p video at 60 frames per second, which is something I've never seen before on a smartphone. Internally, the G2 is probably the most powerful phone ever. It has a new Snapdragon 800 processor running at 2.26 GHz and 2 GB of RAM. The 800 chip improves over the older 600 chip in efficiency and graphics, which allow the G2 to run faster and longer. It has 32 GB of internal storage, 24 of which are available to the user. The G2 also has a massive 3000 mAh non-removable battery. The capacity, combined with the efficiency of the Snapdragon 800, allowed me to use the G2 moderately for at least 2 days at a time. As you might be able to guess, all of that power makes the G2 a seriously fast phone. The phone did everything I told it to the second I told it to do it, even with LG's fairly heavy skin. It's probably the fastest phone I've ever used, but it'll have some stiff competition from the upcoming Galaxy Note 3. On the software side of things, there are so many things you can customize about the G2. You can change the vibration intensity, the screen off effect, the font type, the font size, the transition effect between home screens, the screen unlock effect, the layout of the software buttons, and so many other little things. LG has also included a bunch of proprietary features that you can't find on stock Android or other skins. Q-Slide is like the dual window feature on Galaxy devices. You can have multiple apps on screen at once, and you can adjust the transparency of each window to be able to see what's behind it. Slide Aside is like a second way to multitask. You can slide up to 3 apps to the side of the screen, and access them later with a 3-finger swipe in the opposite direction. Knock On is another way to turn the G2 on and off. You can simply double tap on the screen to do so. I found it most useful when I didn't want to pick my phone up off the table, but if you really can't stand that the power button is on the back, you can use Knock On instead. LG has included some options to make it easier to use the large G2. For example, the keyboard and the dialer can be moved to different sides of the screen to make it easier to use them with one hand. One other cool trick is that when you plug in the headphones, a window pops up with headphone-related apps. Overall, the G2 is a really great phone. The combination of software and hardware make it tough competition for the iPhone 5S, and I would highly recommend it to pretty much anyone out there. Anyway guys, I would really appreciate it if you could click on those like and subscribe buttons if you like this video. See you next time, and thanks for watching.